Am I streaming? I don't know. Am I streaming? Anyone in there? Anyone? Huh? You there? Okay. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if you're there or not. Who knows? Am I here? Can you prove I'm here? Have we been here before? Have you been here before? I don't know. The Druzy people, I don't know if you've ever researched the Druzy people. They're a doozy, those Druzy. The Druzy people are a group of Syrian Jews. Again, I did say that. Syrian Jews. And it's interesting. Syria contains a lot of Christians, too. So they've got an interesting makeup. The Druzy people are this kind of a crypto-Jewish group that believes strongly in reincarnation. Very interesting people, okay? And they seem to dig homes under the ground quite often, which is quite interesting. But if you look into them, there's even a connection with the Druzy in Ireland, which is even a bizarre connection. But don't get into that right away when you look into them. First, learn about who they are. But they've been known to have children that come out and say, well, I know about this former life, and I know I'm this particular person, and they go to meet that family and explain to them that they're reincarnated of that particular person. Very unusual thing that goes on with these Druzy. But I want to talk about reincarnation. Now, what I'm about to say may or may not be something I believe, and may not be something I totally believe in, but I want to share it as an experience of something that maybe the elite might possibly be involved in, or an understanding they believe in. First, I'm going to read a quote from Henry Ford. All right. I believe we are reincarnated. You, I, we, reincarnated over and over. We live many lives and store up much experience. Some are older souls than others, and so they know more. It seems to be an intuitive gift. It is really hard-won experience. Okay. Another one from Annie Besant. Okay. In the light of reincarnation, life changes its aspect, for it becomes the school of the internal man within us, who seeks there in his development the man that was and is, all shall be, for whom the hour will never strike. The elite seem to believe in reincarnation. Okay? Now, there is a lot of evidence that shows that the Rothschild family is a strong believer in reincarnation, and some of their belief is that you are born into the same bloodline. And this may be why they continue to marry into a certain bloodline. Okay? But what is it about that bloodline that they want to, I guess, possess? If you're marrying in, if you're marrying into a particular bloodline, for the bloodlines itself, there's got to be a reason. What is it? Let's say these elite, or let's even broaden the picture. Let's say that there's a war out there of, an elite war. And people might in this war say that there's these different families, all kinds, 13 different bloodlines, or 9 different bloodlines, many different bloodlines in this war. But in actuality, when it comes down to it, when you really look at it, and this is only hypothetical, there's actually only one bloodline, one family, one split family that's been warring for a long time, over and over, as those that reincarnate. And, let's say that knowledge that's stored genetically, maybe even in the DNA. Well, the elite come to know that if something sparks, that person wakes them up, you might even say, Then they come out from their hiding. They come out and they find who those people are. Sure, they may wake up others along the way, and that's just a little side distraction because they're not concerned. In reality, it doesn't matter how many memes or screaming from the tops of the mountain that those people make. The elite, no, it's just one war, one family, and those are their only concern. So, when we understand a theory like this, we can start to look at what are they doing when they're trying to spark more of an awakening upon the people. Are they saying, all right, let's do this round of awakening, and it may spark some of that ancient DNA, some of that ancient reincarnated ones, so we can find out who they are, and then they won't be a problem for us in the future. And that these rounds of awakenings are some of those sparks going off to locate different people, different groups. And the rest that wake up along the way is really not concerned to them. Could that be something? I don't know. But you got to look at the things that they believed, you know, and the things that they're always looking for. These people like to solve their problems before they become problems. You know, you look at the Battle of Waterloo, you know, how the Rothschild family made so much money is Rothschild had such a good message delivery service, better than the British nation itself, in the way that they sent information back and forth to the front. The front was in Germany. Waterloo, Germany, or is it Belgium? It's right in that area. All right, if it's Belgium or Waterloo, sometimes I forget which one, but it's right in that area, right in there. But anyways, you know, and the Rothschilds, they had their own messenger service that was really quick. So when he was standing at the market floor and looking all devastated, everybody assumed that Napoleon won the battle. Okay? And they all started to sell. And they sold. And guess what? Rothschild bought at a really low price, making a fortune. Because it wasn't Napoleon that won. Sometimes I like to get into that, the Waterloo, the whole thing about the box formation and how much of a mistake that was. Anyways, very interesting battle. But anyways, let's get back to this whole reincarnation thing. Does reincarnation exist? I don't know. That's the interesting thing about death. The whole thing about death is memory. Okay? How can genetic memory get transferred? In theory, if your brain is not there, in other words, you die, your brain dissolves into, you know, rots away, gets worms in it and shit, all that shit. Where does your memory go? Can memory be stored in DNA? And a lot of people can say, and there could be a lot of evidence towards it, but is there actual proof? It's probably only something that the elite would know, because they like to hide that type of information. What I believe in, I'm not going to say. But when it comes down to it, with these elite, is it just one family? And their biggest concern is their own family. Because, in theory, if they believe in reincarnation, and somebody is born outside of their family, okay, that wouldn't be like the true reincarnation they believe in, because they believe in that whole thing is going to be in the same bloodline. And they would have to run, DNA tests all over the world, because as centuries goes on, literally one family can have millions of people in it. do they isolate where that dangerous, what they would consider dangerous, opposing DNA? What is it about these people that makes them think the blood is so special? Is it just the tradition? Well, if it's blood, that means I have right claim to kingdom, this and that. I don't know. I would think that would wear out after a while. So I do believe the elite believe there's more importance in the blood than we actually know of. Because when you look at certain families, you know, the Rothschilds, I mean, they have some title. They have, you know, their dukes and barons and all that shit and lords. But they're not kings and queens, you know. But yet they almost stick to bloodlines more than the kings and queens. They're more stringent on the bloodlines they marry into than the kings and queens. Now why? I don't know. So it's an interesting fact, but when you see things and you look at this and, you know, you see the Ford name, and then if you understand where the Ford name came from, the same, you know, these people, a lot of them belong into one family. Ford's an interesting case, you know, where he seemed to be, I don't know, going along with racist. He seemed to be, you know, also outing the Illuminati and also working with Rockefeller. Interesting case. And, you know, we got to be careful out there. What we see oftentimes when they make memes and they make quotes, and a lot of people never check them to see if they actually said that or not, but they make people sound better than who they actually were. And because we weren't there and haven't really met these people, unless you're a reincarnation of Ford, you really know who or how these people are. I really believe the only nice guy I think I've come across really in history, one that seemed like he was halfway decent but somehow was involved with them, was Samuel Clemens. All right, now if you know who Samuel Clemens is, that's Mark Twain. Okay, Samuel Clemens was Mark Twain's real name. No matter how many times I read his content, there was something there where he was trying to tell us something, but, you know, he knew he had to play the game. You know, which is unlike, I think, with Orwell. You know, a lot of people say that George Orwell, was somebody that, well, he was telling everybody, warning them, New World Order, warning them. But when you look into his family and his wife and their involvement in the Fabian Society and the Freud family, not so good. It's not so good. He did some, you know, that's the tough, you know, I know I'm jumping around here a little bit, but the tough thing about the bards, the storytellers, is they have people who are in these secret societies that come out and tell you the truth. And it seems like they're doing such a great deed to society. But all well, they are connected to these secret societies that are doing the exact same evil things that they're warning you about. Huxley, Orwell, you name it. You know, Alan Watts, MK Ultra, all of these people, Joseph Campbell, MK Ultra, and what's that new guy? I keep on seeing him. He's connected to MK Ultra. Everybody's following. But anyways, it's funny. Alex Jones, all right? People ask, well, why would they have somebody come out and tell the truth if he's a part of it? Well, this is their game. They've always done this. They've always understood that they got to awaken people as a revelation of the method, because it's going to drive people down the path that they want people to go in. But there is an undermined meaning to awakening people that I don't think that the majority of Masons that are involved in these things, or the majority of Jewish people that are involved in these things, understand. I think it's in a whole nother game that people don't quite understand. I think there's an aspect to what's going on, whether it's all these false flags or anything else, that is on a level where these elite could give two shits about all the protesting, about all the memes, about all the calling them out, because they're more involved in solving the problem or problems before they happen, isolating that ancient DNA that could lead to problems for them. Or I believe they may even want to hold on to that once they awaken those ancient DNA, get them to help them. And so they'll maybe even tell other ones that they're special, or that it's all for bringing about some kind of Messiah. So they take part in assisting them on these different programs. Because when it comes down to it, when you talk about crisis actors or everything else, there's heavy-duty brainwashing and MK Ultra. But how do you get people to do such immoral things? And convincing them is all for a greater good is going to make the world a better place. You look at how crazy people will get involved into religion. If you tell them, hey, you're so special, you're going to be the one that helps bring about Jesus, they might actually go along with the stupidity. So, the majority of people that are involved in what's going on, I highly doubt even understand what's being done. I don't think really any of us do. But there's more to the game than, people waking up from false flags, people waking up to this new age, or even the one world government. There's more going on here. I mean, because if you really look at it, if you really look at it, you had Germany in World War II on an incline, making strides ahead towards a new world order, kind of like the ones that they want. So if Germany was making great strides at a new world order, why the hell did they decide to bomb them from two different fronts? Why the hell did they decide to just destroy them? So it's funny how they had this whole new world order thing going on, and getting people to believe that they were going to move to this great new world order, and then they destroy it, and then come in afterwards with the United Nations and promote the propaganda of creating another world, or new world order, another whole round of this bullshit. So we got to question it. I think there has been some history where they've always wanted to create a utopian world, but these people are not stupid. They know the utopian world doesn't work. It doesn't. So we do got to be careful, because as strides and steps get towards a new world order, and it looks like they're building things up, leave it to the Masons to crush it all down again. That's what they do. They build things to break things so they can build it over again. So, anyways, that was my little chat on reincarnation. Go back and look up the Druzy people. The Druzy people. Make sure I'm saying that correctly. The Druzy people. They're Syrian, they're Jewish, and they're very weird. But we have lots of those groups of people throughout our world. Strange. And I'm not here to dissuade different ethnicities or different cultures, because I think different cultures should be celebrated. I think the only time we have to worry about it is when people are pushing their culture on another culture, which is often what America does, bringing freedom via a uranium-tipped bomb. Makes no sense whatsoever. So in reality, the most dangerous culture out there in this world today is, well, our culture. The mass murdering, psychopathic, reality star, perverted entertainment industry, American society is the biggest danger to this world. Besides Britain and Israel, of course. But it's all kind of one when you look at the hands behind them. You know, oftentimes I've looked at how many times the Catholic Church, has been so full of shit. And they may have even been part of the deception in hiding the knowledge of reincarnation. But some of their things somehow bring things back together. So, you know, when we talk about a new world order and then it getting destroyed and chaos and this and that, what you got to keep your eyes open is on that Catholic Church, because they're going to be the ones that step up and try and bring things all back in, because they are a very powerful force throughout the centuries. You know, and it's a tough thing to say, where you want to get mad at the Catholic Church and all the things that have happened and they've done, and of course the perverts and all this and that. But they've also been able to contain things and keep things from getting way too out of control for a long time. So in reality, we need to be awake and aware to the dangers of the Catholic Church, but we also have to understand the usefulness of it, and maybe figure out how someday we can come to an agreement with them, because they still grasp and control so much. And out of all of what goes on, believe it or not, when you look at it, they are kind of a side that has actually been better than a lot of other sides, except for till recently. And that is when the Jesuit control came over, when the Black Pope took over. Okay, now something there went wrong. Okay, there's always been Jesuit control in the Catholic Church, which is Jewish control, but there's something wrong recently where, the Masonic control of the church kind of swept in there a little